Ladies and gentlemen, how are we doing this fine evening? Another great episode of the Swaggy Sports Podcast. We got a whole bunch of familiar faces in the chat tonight. Some very, very good friends of mine, going from my left to right, with the palm tree background, no filter. Mr. Anthony Cicini, Mr. Shane Simpson, fins up, and Mr. Shane Davis. How are we doing tonight, fellas? Glad to have y'all on.
Great to be
Always
here.
a pleasure. Absolutely. Swaggy Sports Podcast Nation. Let's ride.
To the moon.
Let's ride.
To the
Now,
moon.
as we get into our next episode, we're going to have ourselves, as you all know, a nice little week 2 takeaway talk, obviously. Some things that we learned in the first 2 weeks of the NFL season. We're going to have ourselves another Swaggy Play of the Week segment. The fans seem to really enjoy that. And then we're going to give ourselves some week 3 predictions. Go down the line like we always do. I haven't tallied up last week's, but from what I can remember, I know it's going to be kind of dicey because some picks that you had, Shane, me and Taj had opposite that got right, and then vice versa. So it'll be very, very interesting to see how that tallies up at the end. But to start off, I just wanted to talk about something that we learned in these first 2 weeks of the NFL season. You can't take away but so much, and you can sort of kind of see which teams are looking like contenders, which teams are looking like pretenders, but just something that you learned from these first 2 weeks. I'll start with my guy on my right hand, Mr. Chi. What have you learned in these first 2 weeks of the NFL season?
That, number one, a football game isn't over until there's 0 seconds left on the clock in the fourth quarter. We've seen so many games that might have looked like blowouts that completely turned the table and vice versa. And number two, that outside of the Bills, and maybe this is a hot take, but I'm going to say it anyway, there really isn't, at least in my eyes, one team that just stands out on film as just substantially more dominant than whoever it is that they line up against. Everyone had the Falcons counted out week 1. You see what they did. The Jets this last week, same deal. The Giants, you go right down the line, and some considerable favorites have lost to dogs, the Raiders, and so on and so forth. So immediately I would say those are my 2 takeaways.
I like that. Yeah, man. I looking at the Bills, they just look pristine, mean, and just ready to rock and roll every single week.
Unbelievable.
Like it really doesn't matter. That man, that Steph and Josh Allen, they're formulating something very, very special down there, bro.
That duo's tough.
Too tough. They got the swag, they got the look. You know what I'm saying, bro? They fit the part. They fit the part, and they're doing their thing. And their defense, bringing over Von Miller, man, I feel like bringing over Von, that was that one piece that I think they needed these past couple years that can possibly put them over the hump. Just one that dog that can make that play in third and whatever to get your guy the ball back. I like that though. Shaners, my first Shane Simpson. I'm gonna have to figure out how to tell y'all.
Shaners works. For me, the first thing that I'll say is acquiring talent in the offseason does not guarantee you success. And there's a couple teams across the board, aside from the Bills, but the Bills were already good. I'd say like a team like the Raiders, you get the best receiver in football, doesn't guarantee you success. Like you got to put it together. It's a puzzle. And my second thing that I would say is when the Bucs figure out their offense, they're going to be very, very scary. Because that defense looks like the defense that they had when they won the Super Bowl.
It does.
Even this past week, with all the injuries at receivers, they still handled the Saints. Yeah, that was another game. Right. First half, what,
2 years.
6 total points? 0 offense. Brady's
Insane.
done it his whole entire career. The guy finds a way, but to
Right.
your point, that defense is scary.
Shane, what's one thing you've learned these first 2 weeks in NFL season?
as you said, you can't really take too much away from just 2 weeks. But I'm gonna go with the Bengals on that Super Bowl hangover we talked about. They don't look good. You can't go 2 weeks and lose to Mitch Trubisky and Cooper Rush. So they look like crap. And then I also think that the Eagles look really good. They surprise me. People take the NFC East, a little lightly, but I think the Eagles are a real contender. And the addition of AJ Brown is great for them, I think, because I think Devontae Smith works better as that number 2 receiver. So I like the Eagles a lot. I think they look really good. Jay Hurts doing his thing out there.
I like that. Yes, the Eagles. If we were to do a power rankings, the Eagles they belong in that top 3. I would probably put either the Chiefs or the Bucks at 2, Bills at 1. Got it. I would have to see for another week before that.
The Birds at 3 in the league?
Very, very good. As
3
of
in
right
the
now,
league?
yeah, in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks.
Man, I got to see the Bills.
Man.
Too, man. I can't give
We're
the Bills
talking.
3's a little high.
You
We're
think
talking
so?
about the Birds at 3. Give me the Fins at 3. Let me get my Fins at 3.
Heard you.
But no, the Eagles definitely look good.
Yeah,
they're
dude,
tough.
they look good.
3's high, bro. You got to remember the Rams. Bills are 1 in my opinion. You got Rams, Bucks.
Yeah,
I mean, top 3.
The reason why I say
Chargers.
top 3 because I feel like there's not so many teams that have that dual threat aspect, and if Jalen can throw like that, you know what I'm saying, consistently all season, that's going to be the hardest offense to stop, except for the Bills, because of how much of a dual threat Josh is. To be able to run the ball with your quarterback and get the ball down in 3rd and 7, he's hitting the right receiver. He was throwing accurate the other night, bro. Like the most accurate I've ever seen him throw in an NFL game. I just think that's very, very dangerous. And if Slay can shut down a receiver like Jay Jettas the way he did, and then you have Bradbury as well, Hassan Reddick rushing the ball, Fletcher
Kirk
Cox
looked
in the
awful,
trenches.
too.
Yeah,
that's prime time Kirk. That's
where I messed up last week. I forgot the man was 2-37 on prime time. So
yeah, that's prime time Kirk.
And it's just something interesting about like the Philly culture and like how like Philly operates. It's like no other sports town, team, fan base, organization wholly. They just get momentum, and once they get a little bit of wind behind their backs, it seems as if they never look back. I mean, not to go back in whatever, but that Super Bowl team realistically didn't really have much business being in the Super Bowl and or beating Tom Brady. But it's
right.
The narrative and everything else, I just think that it's unique to Philly, and it's cool to see.
Yeah, they gave up 500 passing yards and still won. Which is crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
Insane.
The Philly special.
I like that though. That's very, very good talk. One thing I would kind of piggyback off what you said, like you can't give these offensive coordinators too much time on the clock, bro. Like they can make something happen, man. It's crazy. And I feel like a lot of it has a lot to do with back end miscommunication early in the season. You know what I'm saying? There's just like a lot of flows that a back end has to get together, and they'll get stronger with over more reps. But like, whether it's busted coverages or just offenses just being able to score with not enough time left on the clock, dude. Those 3 comeback games, talking about be more Dolphins, Browns, Jets, and Raiders, Cards. Those games were insane to watch, dude. It's because like Next Gen Stats said they all had less than a 2% chance to win their games at one point. That is for them to all win those games. It's just absolutely insane, and it's scary because it just shows too much time.
Bro, you tell me when you want to start talking about that Ravens game, because we could go all day. Talk about that
I know you will. We can talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's chat it up.
I'm sleep on
Shane,
Tua.
What was your why? Tell me why, Chi. And
even though he had the
fans, everyone who's watching, this is a fins.
He had the Madden versus rookie stat line there was either busted coverages or the ball was underthrown. His arm is still at 30-plus yards, substandard at best. And, I mean, you talk about off-season spending, it's still early, but seems as if that it's coming to fruition. It's that team. I mean, I don't know how many games it took Tua last year to surmount 500 and some odd yard passing yards. But it's positive to see the role that Jalen Waddle's been able to step into because of the presence that Tyreek Hill has around him at any one given time on the football field. But yeah, I'm still not sold on Tua. But sorry to steal your thunder, Shane. Let's hear it from I'm assuming a Ravens fan.
Yeah, man, I was up in the stands. I haven't gone out sad like that since Derrick Henry came in the crib and sent us out. Bro, I was sick. We were chilling. We were up 35-14. Everyone's high-fiving, carrying on. And then it was just Gesicki and Tyreek and Waddle just bang, 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 bang. Lamar played great. Our offense looked amazing. That's the best I've seen Lamar sitting there really be patient and really dissect the defense. He looked great. Took one 80 yards to the crib. And then Steve, as we said on that first podcast, you give a young quarterback, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, they're going to be able to make something shake, even if they can't throw 30 yards, So we saw that. But yeah, man, I was so sick seeing a little Waddle. Dude, we had old heads doing a little Waddle dance after the last tutty. I was sick. Yeah.
Especially, the opening kick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, that's the kind of game that we're in for.
Yeah, the Ravens looked flawless in the first half.
Didn't miss a beat. That fumble on the one, but other than that, they had their way the whole entire first half.
Yeah. Crazy game.
Crazy game. But 35-14 going into the fourth.
You should win that game.
You could start. You can start the bench almost.
Right.
Not to really over exaggerate it, but you can. That's insane.
That just showed me how good the Dolphins could be. Honestly, if they start clicking, they are so dynamic on offense. They impressed me. I think they could steal one from Buffalo, and they'll be good in that division.
Heard you.
100%.
Shaners, any input on that game? Be more Dolphins?
Yeah. I mean, they said it. That's why I picked the Dolphins as my favorite to win the division. That's my hot take this year, and I'm sticking to it. Like they said, dynamic offense. They have versatility everywhere. Run game, you can use 2-3 backs. You got Tyreek Hill, you got Jalen Waddle, you got Gesicki. It's like we said last week, Steve. It's the need for speed. I mean, when you got that much speed on your offense, even if you underthrow the ball, Tyreek Hill's still 20 yards away from his defender. You're going to make plays. I mean, I think an offense like that with that much firepower, they prove they're never really going to be out of a game. I mean, Baltimore had a lot of busted coverages there as well, but I like the Dolphins, man. And it's interesting what Chi-Chi said too. I wonder where they go. This is a big year for Tua. I think he needs to prove how good he is, because that offense is showing that if they don't win, it's because of him. And I don't think they would be very hesitant to go out and find a different quarterback, because clearly they have the pieces to win now. So
I like that. I like that take right there, Shane.
And I'm looking forward to seeing at some point Cedric Wilson's got to get an increased role. We've seen very little Cedric Wilson, who's incredibly talented.
Yeah, slider, another slider, bro. Need for speed is dangerous.
If Tua can complete passes and just do the bare minimum, these dudes will be good. Their offense is really, really like that. So it's not going to take much. I agree with what Shane said. They won't be hesitant to go out and get somebody who can do the bare minimum or a little more,
I agree with that big time. Receiving leaders going into week 3, we do have Cheetah number 1, 19 catches for 25 targets, 284 yards. 11 first downs, 2 tutters. Waddle's at 3, 15 for 24, 243 tutters, and 12 first downs, man. They're just sliding, bro. Sliding. It's cool to see, though, bro. Fins up, man. It's tough. That roster is mean. I kind of want to talk a little bit about that Raiders cards a little bit more, because that game right there was nuts. That was a 20-0 Raider lead in the third quarter to end up losing in overtime. Man, that game was nuts. Which any one of you want to go first and talk about that game a little bit? Let's talk.
Yeah, I'll go. I mean, you can credit Vance Joseph for his defensive schemes or whoever you want to do, but at the end of the day, like, it's not that hard. You just get the ball to Davante Adams. He had 1 touchdown, 2 catches, 12 yards. Like, the week before, he had 140 yards, a touchdown, I think 10 catches. You have Davante Adams. Like, get the ball to him. And it's tough, man. I like Derek Carr. I think he's had a lot of adversity in his career. I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's at least definitely above average, but I think he's got to figure out it too. And that defense, man, that could be that team's kryptonite, is their defense for sure.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because they have Chandler Jones and Max Crosby. They have a disgusting D.
Jonathan Abrams is a tough little safety. Like, they got the pieces, dude. They got that linebacker. What's his name? He gets thrown out like every 2 games for targeting. He's a menace to society. But
Perryman.
It's like exactly, money man Perryman. I think it's just more or less like, you look at the Raiders, they're just not used to winning. You know, like, some things that winners just do and that losers don't. And you look at the Cardinals' last drive, and they had a number of chances to get off the field and to at least put themselves in a better position to win the game, and they just gave them every opportunity to do exactly what it is that they did. And you talk about momentum and just how quickly a game could shift out of your hand, and that 2-point conversion, the touchdown prior, I mean, it sucked the air out of that stadium.
That was nuts, bro. Absolutely nuts. I
shouldn't have counted my boy out.
Nah, you shouldn't have. You shouldn't have.
Yeah,
Warzone 2 doesn't drop until next week.
I know.
You might as well lock the cards for a win. You might as well lock the cards for a win. Double.
All right, I'm just gonna say this. I don't want to get off track. 20-0. The Raiders do happen to play in Vegas. I don't know what the betting slips look like. I saw some questionable defensive holding penalties, some pass interferences. Kyler Murray takes 28 seconds to score on a 2-point conversion. You don't think anyone had a bit of a jersey? Just gonna throw it out there. There might have been some.
You definitely got to put it in the air.
Some financial implications on that game.
Yeah. Insane, man. Insane. You can't make it up. That's one thing I will say. You can't make nothing like that up right there. You can't.
Yeah, Renfro, that's uncharacteristic. 2 fumbles in the last minute.
And he's used to getting hit hard.
Yeah,
you
can't tell me he's never
hit the casino.
Seriously, somebody did.
Nah, bro, that was insane.
I didn't see the hits though. Did he really get violated bad on the second one? That's what my dad said. He said he got
tackled.
crushed.
Yeah, and then Simmons came in clean, and as he was about to get himself together, Simmons came through and licked him. Byron Murphy to the paint.
You think John Gruden might have called Goodell? Said something.
That's for another pod.
Roger, we gotta talk, man.
Oh my gosh.
I got a deal you can't refuse, man. Talk about money.
Spider 2YX banana.
Canceled.
Let's keep it moving. Swaggy play of the week. We had a lot of fans who enjoyed that segment, so we're gonna bring it back for another one. So I'm gonna start. Let's go from right to left. Shane, what's your swaggy play of week 2? Just any play you thought was tough, clutch, out of the ordinary, whatever it may be. Talk to me. Yeah. Swaggy play of the week.
All right, so I got Jalen Hurts. He put on a hell of a performance all game, but this was big time for me, where it just kind of showed that he's a superstar in this league. So he's pulling it right here, brings it up the sideline, get off me, spin, and then he shows you why he squats 600 pounds.
Yeah.
He's got DBs hanging all over him, stretches out, acts like it's nothing. He's
the
tough.
link is electric. The link is electric.
There's my girl going crazy after. Yeah, they're fired up, bro, because they got a dude. Look at him. Pulls it. Hey,
That's hard to beat, bro.
Yeah, it's just a grown man run.
Not
That's
everyone
hard to
can handle
beat.
the link.
Yeah.
Not everyone.
Not everyone. All
History is shown.
I like that. Shaners, what's your play of the week? Swaggy play of the week for you. That's a great start, though, because that was an electric play right there. Very electric.
Yeah, it was. Are we up?
Yes, sir.
All right, this one's not only the touchdown for me, but the celebration as well. We'll mute that. Two with the drop back there. He's going to find Gesicki in the end zone. Great catch. This isn't the gritty. They call this the skedaddle.
Exactly. I love that name.
Skedaddle.
Skedaddling all over. He said he's going to continue to practice, but it's always exciting to see, especially tight ends nowadays who are able to make catches like that. Gesicki, obviously, some of the softest hands as a tight end in the league, but obviously the toe tap too. Yeah,
and to climb the ladder like he did.
Yeah, no, and that honestly was the start of the comeback there. So that's a big play when you have a tight end who can go up, climb the ladder, like she said, in the end zone, make a play like that, keep you alive. In the skedaddle, man.
That was third down, 239.
Needed it.
Yeah. Needed it. Chi 2 stacks, what you got for us? Swaggy play of the week.
Well, a bit of a disclaimer. This play might not necessarily be from week 3, but I think it's incredibly important to share because it's still very, very well may be relevant here in week 3. Give me one moment, please. This shouldn't come with much surprise to many of you if you know Anthony dearly. So what we have here is a guy that's been counted out.
That guy, Chi.
They called. He didn't answer. He didn't call back. What do we have here? Looks like a 5-man front, bringing 6. 2 high, 1 high. We got the top safety over there shading. What does Geno see here? Okay, we got a little rubber. I want to throw it, but I can't. Let me step up. Athlete. Like the old West Virginia days, Geno Smith to the crib untouched, to later come back and to stay in front and win that game. Geno Smith.
Yes, sir.
The Seattle Seahawks. Anthony's swaggy play of the week. A guy that they called and never picked up. Geno Smith.
I love it.
With many more wins to come. Tell Orange Bowl Geno, tell Drew Luck to keep the bench warm because he's not coming off. And that is my play. Yo, Swaggy, what's up, bro?
Oh my gosh. I had to pick this play.
Listeners.
This was a fantastic play right here. If you look at it, we got 30 seconds going into the first half. We got the Pats at the Steelers. Very, very, not necessarily entertaining game, but a game that was strategic, a nice little chess match, if I should say, I would say, between two great head coaches. But right here, to end the first half, we got Mac Jones trying to get rid of the pill, make a play, gets it to one of the best receivers on his team, Mr. Aguilar.
Oh, my.
Head top. An absolute moss. Let's run that back one more time. Oh, yeah, get that close-up action. He's up close. If he's even, you're leaving. Let your receiver make a play on the pill. Give me that. Disgusting.
Drop the baby.
That had to be my swaggy play of the week. Absolutely mean. We're going to give, to end off the podcast tonight, some week 3 predictions. We're going to go through each game, see how the matchups look, give a prediction of who we think will win and why. To start off, tomorrow night, we have a very intriguing game here. Pittsburgh at Cleveland, 8:15. Make sure you guys get those Amazon Prime subscriptions so you guys can tap in. If not, there's streams for it for the free 99 either way. But Pittsburgh at Cleveland, 8:15. Shane Davis, if you were to pick a team to come out, catch that dub, which would it be? Pittsburgh at Cleveland, brother.
I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh. I mean, Cleveland, they don't look like they know how to win, as we've said about a couple other teams. Can't close out games. You can't let Flag Daddy come into your crib and just throw it all over the field and send you out sad. I just think that the Steelers are just too good on defense. They're too well coached. And if Mitch Trubisky doesn't make too many mistakes, they should be in good shape.
I got the Browns. I'm gonna be honest. The Browns should be 2-0. Nick Chubb after the game said it was his fault. Shouldn't have gone in the end zone with 1:13 left. There's really no excuse for losing that game. They should have won. Props to the Jets for pulling it out. But Brissett, not a great quarterback. Average. He's doing what they would expect. But like I said last week, that two-punch run game, it's crazy. And Amari Cooper played really well last week. I like the way he played. Looked like Brissett was looking for him more. We got the tight ends involved a little more. I got the Browns winning. I got no faith in the MVP, sorry to say it. And I know Najee's dealing with some injuries, but I think the Browns will pull one out. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game.
Heard you. I would have to pick the Steelers to win this game. Bounce back win from the Pats. I got Steelers. Let's keep it moving. Going into the Sunday 1:00 slates, CBS. Houston at Chicago.
I don't know. I said the Bears were my underdog team this year. I don't know what they're doing in the passing game. I really don't. Or lack of. There hasn't been any passing game.
Yeah, they don't have any weapons.
I think what did Fields throw for? It was like, I think he threw for like less than 100 yards.
70 yards, like 70 something.
It's just, I mean, Montgomery looks good. It's tough because both teams, I mean, the Bears, they had a great win against the 49ers, bad conditions. Obviously, Packers own them. Aaron Rodgers owns them. But I think the Texans are better this year. I'm still gonna go. I'm gonna go Bears here.
Okay. Can't be mad at you with that. Shane, who you got here? Houston at Chicago.
I actually got Houston. I like Davis Mills. I think he's better than people think. But they're not that good overall. But I think the Bears are kind of trash. So I'm gonna go with the Texans to pull one out.
Heard that. I think this game is going to be interesting. I'm going to have to go with the Texans here as well. I think Dameon Pierce has his game that I think most fantasy managers who've picked him up are anticipating desperately. Davis Mills, don't sleep on him. I think he'll be a good quarterback. He'll be a good starter in this league. I'm going to have to go with the Texans. That passing performance the other night scared me. I think they have a lot to figure out with this new coach in Justin. How exactly do you want him to utilize those skills out there? Yes, like we mentioned a little bit earlier, they don't have the best weaponry as far as wideouts, but Mooney's no slouch, and they can run the ball. So they got to figure out a way to really utilize Justin for what he's good for. And until then, I'm going to have to roll with the Texans. Moving on. 1:00 Fox. The Las Vegas Raiders at the Tennessee Titans. Two teams. One of them teams going to have to get their first win of the season unless they tie. Love it. Shane, what you thinking? Raiders at Titans.
Yeah, I'm going to go Raiders too. As Shaners said, they got to feed Devontae a little bit more this week, and I think that'll be helpful for them. And then also the Titans, although they lost whatever it was, 41-7, I don't think that's terrible considering they're playing the Bills, So it's not like they're that bad. So I don't know. I like the Raiders here. Titans just don't really impress me right now. I got to see Tannehill make a couple more plays. But yeah, I'm gonna go Raiders.
Heard you. Shaners, what you feeling?
Yeah, I think Tannehill's on the hot seat. I know they pulled him last game. I know they like Malik Willis a lot. Coaches watch film. They're going to see what Stephon Diggs did to the Titans last week, and I expect Devontae Adams to do the exact same thing. So I'm going Raiders.
Heard that. I'm going to have to go with the Raiders as well. Federal sweep. I'm going to have to go with the Raiders as well. I said this in previous pods. To lose A.J. Brown in that offense, it's very, 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 very bad. And they have a lot to figure it out because of that. And until then, I got the Raiders.
I do like the Treylon Burks kid, though.
Me too. I do too. I think he's going underrated. I like him. He's got speed for his size and can run good routes. I like him. But they got to get him in the mix more. They got to figure it out. And they got a ways to go. If not, is it the dude that they drafted, Caleb Farley, I want to say? It's Byard. You also have Byard at safety, too, who's no slouch.
No, Byard's good.
No slouch at all. He's a dog. Jeffrey Simmons in the trenches. I think it's more so the offense for them right now.
Yeah,
they got aired out 41-7 to the Bills, but I think it's more so
it's not
trying to get points on the board.
It's not hard for the Bills to put up 40, though. That's the thing.
Yeah. Kansas City, this will probably be an easy one. Kansas City at the Colts, 1 o'clock CBS. Shaners, if you were to pick a team right here, Kansas City at Colts, who you got and why?
Obviously Chiefs. I think that the Colts are arguably the worst team in football right now, which is a huge surprise to me because you have Jonathan Taylor, you have Michael Pittman. You brought over Matt Ryan, almost made the playoffs with Carson Wentz last year. This was supposed to be an upgrade, and they look horrible.
Yeah.
Let's not waste time. Chiefs, bro. and to that point, this is making Carson Wentz look good right now. I mean, Carson, hey, say what you want. He's looked good these first 2 weeks. Made some bonehead plays. He's good for that, but I think Carson's feeling good about himself right now.
If I were Carson Wentz, I'd feel okay about myself right now as well, just because, especially considering Duval smacked that last week with Matt Ryan at the helm, smacked that 24-0. I would be feeling great if I were Carson. We need to get a full 4 quarters out of him, and if we do, I like our chances much, much more. But he's second in the league right now, going into week 3, as far as passing yards go, and either first or second, tied first or second for touchdowns. So he's doing much better than Matt Ryan, to say the very least.
Yeah.
But let's not waste any time on this. Kansas City Chiefs will win that game. Let's keep it moving. 1 o'clock CBS as well. You have the Buffalo Bills at the Miami Dolphins. Which team, Shane, is going to get their first L? Which team's getting their first L? The Fins?
Where is it? Where is the game?
It's at Hard Rock. It's in Miami.
This is a really good game. I'm going to say the Bills, but I think it'll be a hell of a game. But the Dolphins just left it all out there at the bank. They got a hill to climb after that. That's a crazy emotional win for them. And the Bills I think the Bills are just too good. They're hard to stop, especially early in the year when there's not that much film on them right now. And the way Lamar tore them up, I think the Bills can do the same with Josh. So I think the Bills will win, but it'll be a good game.
Heard that. Shaner, what you thinking?
I think the Buffalo Bills are losing this game. I got the Dolphins. Especially, I like that it's at the Hard Rock Cafe. That place is going to be nuts.
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah. This is a big game, though. Obviously, coming off of that win last week is huge for the Dolphins, but this is one of those games where you see what Tua really is made of, how he's going to be as a quarterback, what this offense is capable of. And their defense, too. Their defense didn't look great last week. They got to step up. I don't got Xavier Howard getting burnt the way he got burnt. I think the matchup against Diggs is going to be a good one. I don't know if Gabe Davis is playing, but I think this is the game of the week, and I picked the Dolphins in the beginning of the year to win that division. I like the Dolphins.
I just don't think you want to get in a shootout with the Bills, you know? You don't want it to be.
I agree, but then the Dolphins did the same thing. It's tough to tell because I mean, all you got to do is just send Tyreek downfield. If not, Jalen's running the under routes.
Yeah, dude. I hate to keep saying it, but I'm gonna keep saying it till it proves otherwise. Need for Speed is dangerous. But what a game! That should be a great game. I'm gonna have to go with the Buffalo Bills here to win this game. Bills, they're the best in the league right now. Potent, strong, physical, hard-nosed football. That's what the Bills are playing right now. Dolphins are getting it right, but I think the Bills will win that game. 1 o'clock on Fox. 1 o'clock on Fox, we have Detroit Lions at the Minnesota Vikings. Detroit Lions, Minnesota Vikings. Shaner, what you thinking here? What you thinking? Interesting game? I think so.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very competitive game. I don't have Kirk playing the way he played on primetime. That's just primetime Kirk.
Right.
But I like the Lions here. I'm not going to lie. The Sun God is on fire right now, that's for sure. And DeAndre Swift is one hell of a running back. So, and Jared Goff, props to him, man. Everyone thought he kind of went down a crapshoot, excuse my language, by going to Detroit, but he's turning them around. They very well could be 2-0 right now, and I got the Lions on this one.
I got the Lions too, man. Kirk, I just can't ride with Kirk. He drives me nuts. I never have faith in him in any game. He just looks scared back there. And then with that being said, I love Dan Campbell. The Lions are building something. DeAndre Swift is a dog. St. Brown, dog. They're good. I like Detroit. And the Vikings haven't really showed me anything. So I can't really ride with the Vikings at all. I'm going to go Lions.
I will have to third that, guys. Lions are mean. Lions are mean. Never thought I'd say it, but the Lions, they're mean. They're mean, man. Like Shaner said, I don't expect Kirk to play like a Sunday night Kirk, or a primetime Kirk, rather, just because it's not primetime. So he's going to play much better. But their run game is crazy in Detroit. Their front line was mean. Aiden Hutchinson, three sacks against the Commanders last week. He was going crazy. Didn't want to go off the field. He was limping like crazy. Didn't want to go off the field because he wanted to go for a 5-piece McNugget. Don't blame him. Like you said, Shaner, Jared Goff, he's throwing the pill. He's getting the pill to people, and he's not turning over the ball. So if you can do that, you have a chance against anyone any given Sunday. I'm going to have to go with the Lions here. Let's keep it moving. Another 1 o'clock on Fox. Be More Big Trust, Ravens at Pats. Ravens at Pats. I like that game right there. Shane, tell me why you think the Ravens are going to win.
Yeah, I got the Ravens. It's going to be tough, though, responding from last week, but I like the way our offense has looked. I don't know. The Patriots are going to obviously have a nice defense drawn up for us. Belichick scheming it up, but I don't know, man. I think the Ravens are good this year. I think Mac Jones still has a lot to prove. So I'm going to go Ravens on the road.
Heard you. Shaner, what you thinking here?
I think the New England Patriots are an enigma, and I cannot figure them out. I don't know if I will all year. But for me, unless Billy Belichick controls the weather, which he does, but unless it's like a monsoon game, I got the Ravens here.
Yeah, pretty much, man. I'm gonna have to go with the Ravens here as well. They're not gonna go outside 2 weeks in a row. I got the Ravens. Let's keep it going. Wow, this game right here is gonna prove a whole bunch. 1:00 CBS. Bengals at Jets. Bengals at Jets. Who you got here, Shaner?
I really, really, really hope that they do not make me look stupid here. But Joe Burrow recently deactivated Twitter and Instagram, so he's going 0 dark 30. I think that's good for him. I think it's good for the program. I think the Bengals destroy them. I think this is the exact type of game that the Bengals need to get their confidence going and right the ship because they're going in the wrong direction. So I got the Bengals.
Shane?
Big confidence game. Big confidence. I like that. Bengals, I pray that they can pull it together, man. If they can't beat the Jets, they got issues bigger than we can see. So I'm gonna go Bengals, hopefully by more than 2 touchdowns. Flag Daddy ran out of juice last week, I think. So I'm gonna go Bengals.
Flag Daddy third in the league right now, slinging that pill, brother. But that's for next week's pod. I'm gonna have to go with the Bengals as well. This is a huge game for them, bro. I mean, yes, it's only week 3, but I think this is a game that will really show if they're contenders again or they're going to be pretenders like they were 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? They got a lot to prove. I think it's 11 sacks in 2 weeks. Revamped O-line is not working at all. They got to figure it out, man. Defense isn't really looking that too sound either. And they're taking too long to get into the groove that you're used to them seeing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's taking them way too long and late in games, and by then it's too late. But I think they figure it out this week. But hey, you can't sleep on the Jets. You can't, because they made it happen last week, bro. Gee, what you thinking there? Bengals at Jetters.
This is tough. The Bengals have obviously shown in both games that they are still at some level the same exact team that made it to the Super Bowl last year, but there's also spurts of just mediocrity. With that being said, I mean, the Jets are the Jets. They do what they can, but for the time being, there's not much to work with there. But I do think this is a game where Joey Bag of Donuts Burrows is going in head level, confident, and just understanding that this is a great opportunity to bounce back and to still get things on track with a long season ahead. So with all those things being said, give me the Bengals. Now I don't know how many points they're laying, but if I was a sports investor, I might put a couple bucks behind Joey Bag of Donuts.
Understood. And rightfully so. Moving on. NFC East Showdown. Rochambeau. 1:00 on Fox. The 2-0 Philadelphia Eagles versus the 1-1 Washington Commanders. Chi, what you thinking here?
First and foremost, Steve-O, I got the utmost respect for the Washington Commanders, your squad.
Thank you, bro. Not many do. I appreciate that.
The place of Washington, D.C., it's a special place. Is it at FedEx Field?
It is at FedEx.
My apologies.
It will be at FedEx.
The Mecca.
But with all
to
those
each his
things
own.
being said, I mean, you got to ride the hot hand. Jalen Hurts is taking on a. I'm not in the anime game, but I'm sure there's some equivalent for like an evolution, or he's got a couple extra chakras that he threw on. That man looks unstoppable. The birds are rolling. Give me the Bird Gang. My apologies to the Commanders organization, Steve-O. But yeah, give me the Birds.
It's all good. Shane, what you thinking here?
I'm gonna go Eagles, but I'm gonna say I think the Commanders, man. They put up a little fight. They're not just gonna get hit and take it. In FedEx, they gotta stand their ground. Show the fan base what they want to see. And I'm gonna go Eagles 24, Commanders 17.
Heard you. Shaner, what you thinking?
Little revenge game for the Captain Commander Carson. I like that. I think it'll be interesting, but like she said, you got to ride the hot hand. Jalen Hurts has definitely proved he has evolved. He's unlocked the chakra chi. He's going crazy right now, and that whole team is. I mean, all three phases of the game, they look solid everywhere. So I got the Eagles here.
Understood. Who do I think will win? The Eagles. Who do I hope wins? The Commanders. It's hard, bro. I hate going against my guys, but I expect the Eagles to win the game. Like you said, Captain. I mean, dude, I don't know. Hopefully, it's close. It's any given Sunday in Washington, bro. I'm hoping it's close, bro. I hope it's close. I got the Eagles. I said top 3 for a reason to start off this podcast. I think if they can stay on the type of shit that they're on right now, bro, they're gonna be hard to beat. I don't want to keep talking about my Commanders losing, so let's keep it moving. 1 o'clock Fox, Saints at Panthers. Little intriguing game here. Saints coming off to a loss against the Bucks. Panthers. Baker, man, he's figuring it out, I guess. CMC still needs to get the pill a little bit more. That's their guy, you know. Shaner, who you got here? Saints at Panthers.
This one hurts me because I really do want to see Baker succeed. I think Jameis has just upgraded, new knee, new eye. It's tough. Yeah, I mean, ever since he stole the crab legs, he's been an intriguing character. So I'm gonna have to go Saints here. It hurts me. I hope that the Panthers figure it out. They have the tools to do it, but I like the Saints.
Shane, what you thinking?
Yeah, I'm going Saints too. Panthers just haven't shown me enough. You know, I can't trust them as far as I could throw them. Baker, I've never been a huge Baker guy, so I'm not going to ride with him like that. So this is kind of what I expected from him this year. So yeah, I'm gonna go Saints.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna piggyback on all of you as well and go with the Saints. However, I think that if the defensive backfield of the Saints was a little slower, less tenured, I'd be more inclined to go with the Panthers based on the long ball ability of Bobby Anderson and company there. However, yeah, I think it's going to be close for sure. I mean, you look at the Saints' first 2 games and, you know, I mean, 2 scores against the Bucks, but that game was back and forth for 3 quarters anyway, and the week 1 against the Falcons was another shootout. But yeah, I think it's going to be close, but I think the Saints end up winning that one.
I'm gonna have to agree with all y'all. Let's keep it moving. I have the Saints as well. Going into the 4 o'clock slate of games. 4:05 CBS. We have the Jaguars, Duval, coming off a great win at the Los Angeles Chargers in SoFi Stadium. Now, I'm not sure though. Have they designated Herbert, Jay
He's gonna play.
Herbo? He's gonna rock. He's gonna rock. Okay, that definitely changes everything right there, obviously. But Chi, who you got here? Jags at Chargers, and why?
Well, Swaggy Steve, it's about time we have a hot take in the chat. Give me the Jags. Give me Trevor Lawrence, Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram and company. I think we're due for an upset of this caliber. I think a team like the Jags can get it done. Yeah, I mean, definitely a hot take, but I'm rolling with the Jags.
Heard you, Pop. Shane, what you thinking here?
I like that. I like that a lot, especially Herbert. Herbert off these little shaking up, you know. Well, it's definitely an upset alert. But with that being said, that's Herbo, and he's super tough. Their receiving core is tough. I like their defense a lot as well. I'm gonna go Chargers in SoFi. Close game. I like that though. I like that upset. That's not crazy.
Appreciate you, Shane.
Of course.
Shaner, what you thinking?
Huge shout out to James Robinson for healing as fast as he did. Looks great. Coming off of what I believe was a torn Achilles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most painful injury in sports.
Yeah, it's crazy. He looks phenomenal, but I'm going to have to go Chargers here. I do not have them dropping 2 in a row. I 100% think they should have won against the Chiefs. Throwing that pick six, like a 99-yard pick six, was crazy to me. But obviously, Herbert being injured, we'll see what happens. If he gets hurt, the Jags could easily win that game. But Herbert playing, I got the Chargers.
I got the Chargers as well. But like y'all have said, I would, if Herbert's not feeling right, Duval. They look mean, bro. They looked mean against us. Looked mean in week 2. I wouldn't be surprised if they kept it chefing in week 3.
I also don't think it's the greatest strategy that they have the same doctor who treated Tyrod Taylor treating Justin Herbert.
Yeah, dude. Did you see that Tyrod sued him?
Yeah.
Which
I think they plotted that though to get Herbert.
Yeah.
I mean, a 14-inch needle through your sternum doesn't fix a rib. That's news.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Who would have thought? Insane, man. I pray for the best. I pray for the best and for the right thing to come out of that lawsuit. Let's keep it moving. Ooh, 4:25 on Fox. Los Angeles Rams at the Arizona Cards. Rams at Cardinals. Shaner, what you thinking here? You riding with your boy, or is it going to be double XP weekend?
Give me a triple XP weekend. I'm riding with my boy. I think the Rams are very overrated. They got aired out by the Bills. Arguably should have lost to the Falcons. That game being as close as it was is crazy.
Insane.
I like the Cardinals. I think they're going to figure it out, and once they get DeAndre Hopkins back, they're going to be a very good team.
Heard that. Shane, what you thinking here? You riding with the Cards as well?
Nah, I got to go Rams here. Coop, get the ball to Coop, man. You're going to win games. Cooper is insane. Matt Stafford, veteran Q. I love what they're doing on offense still. But yeah, that Falcons game's a little alarming. But I think the Rams will be all right. You know, they're a playoff team and they should be able to handle Arizona.
Heard. No, that's great input though. I'll have to rock with the Rams to win this game. The Rams don't look as good as I thought they would, for sure. But just to look at it, Cooper Kupp, he's 4th in the league right now in receiving. 24 catches for 29 targets, 236 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 14 first downs. He's doing this thing already as assumed. I'm gonna have to go with the Rams here. I think it'll be a close game, though. I do think it'll be a close game. Kyler gets a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but I think the Rams win by a touchdown. Moving on, we have the Falcons at the Seahawks, 4:25 on Fox. Atlanta at the 12th man. Chi-Chi, what you thinking here? Falcons at Seahawks. We might already know.
Yeah, I mean, with the comeback player of the year at your quarterback,
I'm gonna write that down.
Poised for a Super Bowl run, weapons all over the field. That veteran presence in the locker room and in the huddle, the ability to read a defense, the ability to get the ball to the playmakers in space, and a defense and special teams to match. It's got to be the Seahawks. There's only one right choice here, and it's back in Geno and the 12th man.
Heard you, Shane. What you thinking?
I'm gonna go with Mariota. I like the Falcons, man. I think they got to feed Kyle Pitts a little bit more for the fantasy owners in the chat. But yeah, if they get the ball to their playmakers, they could have a little bit of success this year and steal some wins. It's going to be hard going against 12 dudes, but they should be straight. I mean, Geno's going to cough it up, I think, a couple times. And we'll be all right.
Those are fighting words.
Yeah. No, Geno's good for at least 2 picks.
Shaners, what you thinking?
Great Shanes think alike. For the love of God, please feed Kyle Pitts. He's running my fantasy team dry right now. I like the Falcons. I like Drake London a lot. Mariota, good runner, I guess. But AJ Terrell, that defense, I like what they're doing there. So I'm going to take the Falcons here.
Heard you. Drake London, member of one of 3 fantasy teams this year. I think he went 8 for 83, a touchdown and a 2-point conversion against the Rams. Nice little come out game for him.
You can
I
meet
think
me
he's
at the
gonna be a good
London.
receiver. I'm gonna have to go with the Falcons. I'm gonna have to go with the Falcons here. I think they catch a dub in the 12th man. Gotta get Kyle Pitts to rock, man. Highest tight end ever drafted in NFL history. He's a specimen. Just put him out wide. He can do it. I think he has a breakout game right here against the Seahawks. I got the Falcons.
You better.
But
Here we go.
He's missing the parlay king on the outside, though. There's so much more attention on him now with Calvin Ridley.
I do think, though, with what Mr. London, meet me at the London, put on film last week, I think it could potentially open it up. He had a great game against the Rams, dude. He played well. We got 3 more games left here. The last 4 o'clock slate, love it. Battle of 2 GOATs. Green Bay Packers at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Very great game right here. 2 great quarterbacks, great rosters.
In Tampa?
Shaner, in Tampa. What you thinking here, Shaner? Pack at the Buck.
Packers look good against the Bears. Rodgers looked clean. Defense looked pretty fire, but then again, that's the Bears. So it's hard to judge. And then the Bucks at home they look nice. Mike Evans still out, right? Should be out.
Yeah, he did appeal it, but as of right now, he's suspended.
Yeah, they'll be all right. They'll be all right. I got Bucks.
Heard that. Chi-Chi, what you thinking?
I'm not going to be remotely surprised if and when the Bucks win the game. However, I think at least for Aaron Rodgers, he's heard enough about Brady this and Brady that and the greatest of all time, and just kind of the way he is as a player. I think he really takes it upon himself to win this game. So I think we maybe see a different form of Aaron Rodgers in that offense for sure. But again, wouldn't be surprised if and when Tom wins. However, I think Aaron puts up a fight.
Heard that. Shaner, what you got here? The Pack at the Bucks. You riding with your mans?
Yeah, excuse me for my lack of computer battery. It's on me. But
It's all good.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. Mike Evans suspended. Godwin probably out. Julio, the knee injury, I don't know. But if Julio plays, and like I said, I think that's the best defense in the league right now.
What happened?
Packers don't have the weapons that they used to. I got the Bucks.
Understood. I think that's going to be a great game right there, man. I'm excited to see how that one turns out. I got to go with Tampa Bay, though. Why? Tom Brady. Keep it moving. 8:20 Sunday Night Football. Mr. Jimmy Garoppolo back into the mix. Unfortunately, we saw a pretty bad injury from Trey Lance. He's going to be out for the season. I think despite what we saw in that rain game, I think he was poised for a solid season. That's a great roster right there. All he had to do was get those weapons to pill. Sucks to see him hurt, but with Jimmy G in, hey, bro, NFC Championship with Jimmy G, Super Bowl with Jimmy G, no dubs, but we'll see how they pan out. But we got the 49ers at Broncos country. Chi, what you thinking here? Niners at Broncos.
I mean, I think it's going to be Jimmy G and the Niners. I mean, you saw the game Russell had last week. Week 1, I mean, some of that is certainly the clock management that we've seen. However, I think holistically that Niners squad is just deep. I still think that they have a Super Bowl roster, and you got Jimmy G right back to where he was at this time last year. And I think they win handedly. You got Jerry Jeudy up in the air, whether or not he's going to play this league, along with Pat Surtain. I mean, those are two offensive and defensive, respectively, key components of that team.
Heard that. Shane, what you thinking here?
Yeah, I'm going to keep it quick. I think the Niners take care of business. We're not riding with Russ. We're going to go 49ers here.
Shaner?
Yeah, I do want to say stinks for Trey Lance. Hopefully everything heals right. I think it's going to be tough for a quarterback like him who's so reliant on his legs. We saw it with Dak, how he's moved into a more, I'd say, staying in the pocket a lot more as opposed to rushing. But I'm going to go 49ers here. There's a lot of people that do believe that this team is better with Jimmy G as their quarterback. Broncos have some injuries. I'm going to go Niners.
Heard that. I'm going to have to go with the Niners as well. Until next time, we'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Appreciate y'all tapping into the Swaggy Sports Podcast. See y'all.